Hi guys, it's MicheleMarieDalene, and today I wanted to talk to you guys. Well, I usually do a vlog anyway, so it's Sunday, and it's the 14th of the month of October, and I wanted to talk to you about a couple different things. The most important thing is empathy. Now, if you watched the Saturday live stream, you probably saw that there was an issue of some people having their emotions trod upon. And I wanted to, first of all, try to address this and talk about empathy. And we can compare it with another related concept called Psychic Vampirism. And some way empaths and psychic vampires are actually not that different. The difference usually is when you see a psychic vampire, they are in it for the energy, usually negative. And not always. A psychic vampire can also be a positive energy vampire, because it helps them to feel energy and to feed. Okay, they use the term feed, but it basically means to consume. Okay, so psychic vampires are consuming energy. Okay, empaths, kind of similar, in the sense that we're not necessarily trying to feed off energy. In other words, for an empath, it is not like we're deliberately trying to create a result to get an energy, because anybody's emotions and feelings, and for some people, even being around animals and pets can send emotions to them, because living creatures have emotions. Like, for example, this cat right now is inquisitive because he wonders what, and I'm making him feel good because I'm petting him. And then as I feed him his positive pets, he's sending out positive vibes, and I'm picking up those vibes. So I want to talk a little bit first about what happened yesterday on my show and some of the discussions that we happened after the after show and country report. I'm not going to go into all the details of the after show, which is not a public thing. It's actually more of a private thing. And we just tend to, like, after the show, we just kind of sometimes will gather together and discuss the day's events and what's been going on. And on my show is where the story starts. One of our users was emotionally bruised by another one of my users, and he walked away feeling really, 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 really bad. I mean, I could feel his energy, and it was like the old expression, soured the milk. And I said to myself, I gotta talk to this guy. I have got to reach out to him. I said, the situation is not the kind of thing I want my show to be. I don't want people to come away mad. I mean, my show often tends to go off on things that I don't want it to be like, where people were kind of angry at the other person, and then they get angry and they're upset and they're insulted, and then of course, emotions flare. And then so I reached out to him. At first, he wasn't responding to any of my reach outs, and finally, on one of his videos that he did on his channel, which was really, really a really sad video, I finally got through to him, and I said to him, come on Country Report, we've been wanting you to be on the show. And so at first he came on the show and he was all upset, angry, and finally, near the end of his session on the show, I could sense that his energy was starting to turn positive. And I said to myself, this is what I'm looking for. I want to see a person feel good about themselves. Because when he feels good, I feel good. I'm not trying to make fun of Vidal Sassoon for that slogan, but it's true. If somebody on my show is hurt emotionally, I can't sleep. I really can't sleep. When I realize that I have made a person upset today. I just need to make people feel good. And that's what I want to do. So, after the show, he started to feel good, near the end of the show. The show ran really long, which is an extremely unusual thing for the Cringe Report. The gentleman Shoe Nice, by the way, was on the show at the beginning. He was pretty much mostly spending time to talk to us about the different things that he was doing and what he had done. So, at that point, the show by about the 25 minutes was over, really, because the Greekster was going to do the banana and Sprite challenge, and he wasn't able to make it to the show. And I didn't really feel like doing a food challenge, and I explained why at the end of the show. In the after show, why I don't like to do too many food challenges, and I will tell you right now the reason is the individual I'm talking about has issues with substance abuse. I have issues with food abuse. I'm a compulsive eater. Some say you live to eat, some eat to live. I'm more of the former than the latter. I eat because it makes me feel good, to the point where it becomes an obsession and an abusive thing. So I've been trying to change my life for the better, and I think I've made some pretty good inroads, and so that's all I'm going to say for right now, is that's one of the reasons I don't really like to get into many eating challenges, is because then we're going back to eating for pleasure, and it's for pleasure's sake. And right now, I've had a hard time all my life with food, and it's really, really hard to get over that issue. Well, anyway, the point was in the after show is he felt a bit better, and then he talked about some of his personal issues, and one of the things he mentioned about his mom, and of course, and what his mom did to him, and of course, I reminded me of my own mom, and I really started tugging on my heartstrings a lot, because, my mom and I had a really hard time, and thanks to some of the people on the country part, we've actually were able to renegotiate with my mom and open to dialogue, which was a fantastic thing. I'm thinking, and I suggested it to the group, and maybe we could do the same thing for his mom, and maybe try to get him and his mother to start talking again. And I also said something that was very, very important at the end of that, and which is, in some ways, the after shows are almost like group therapy, because we all have our own little issues in life. Dusty, what are you doing? We all have issues in our lives, and sometimes we need to talk about them. And so the show has become more of more than just a presentation. Oh my goodness, you're getting so big. You're wet. Did you tinkle on my floor again? He's a boy cat. What do you expect? That's what they do, right? All right. Stop kissing the microphone. Come on. Whoa. Yeah, he's a boy cat. So anyway, so we all kind of agree that's true, that the show in some ways provides a type of a therapy where we can show our skills and our talents. And that, of course, please understand, Cruise Report is different than my show. My show is meant to be more serious, cover real issue. I mean, world issues and recovery and technology, but I will let it go off on other areas, especially if there's really not much else to talk about, and that's what I like to do. So anyway, on my show, thanks to the help of one of my subscribers who shared my video out to her group of friends, I got 220 views on yesterday's show, which is on Friday at 2 p.m. and I'm Saturday at 2 p.m. And I was really happy to see that. And so there was a lot of good things. I was feeling kind of good because I had some positive energy flow. I could feel positive energy. So anyway, the point is my show is a place where we can discuss issues, what's going on with the world, and things like that. And me and our 11830 and possibly Critical Unity would like to try to have a program either taped or maybe live. I don't know which one yet. Where we could discuss the issues that we see. I'm thinking taped only because this way we can be free to speak about the things that we want to talk about and not be sidelined with the phone calls and everything else. And if something gets said that kind of offends, then we could always remove it from the video, because once this goes out live, you're right, you can't take it back. Sometimes things get said that are either wrong or incorrect or just were said, because of high emotional states, and nobody wants to run into that oops kind of thing. So, I think it's kind of interesting to think about. We have our live stream tonight at 7 p.m. And of course, I will be here. And we're going to be, hopefully we can cover some more, what we covered in the last few days. I mean, and that's just what I want to do. I want to try to cover more topics. And also, I noticed that my Power Mac G5 is starting to have its own little cranky problems. Come on, the thing is 15 years old. I guess you can be a little cranky at 15 years old, right? 2003 iMac. I mean, our Power Mac G5, it's getting cranky. It needs a refurbishment. I mean, I don't know if the surface mount electrolytics are starting to dry out or whatever, but clearly the Mac is not always starting well, and so there were issues with that. But the new computer I am buying is I'm still very much leaning towards a 2010 Mac Pro, because it's going to be pretty much it looks just like a Power Mac G5. It's a little bit more modern and modular design, and it's very nicely put together, and it's a beautiful machine. So that is the reason Why I plan to get that. I'm not going to go too much more than that. It's going to definitely make an improvement on the show. It's going to make us be able to do more advanced stuff. Our Lebanese freezer was having a problem with the cringe report last night with his iMac. Was running out of steam trying to do all the overlays and stuff that he was doing. And I can understand exactly what he was going through because I go through a lot of this with my iMac from 2006. That is, it's a machine that was designed more for consumer applications. And when you're trying to do the stuff that we do with computers, it just can't keep up with the applications at hand. Advanced video processing is just not his thing. But at least as far as the computer goes, the new one we're going to getting, it's going to fix a lot of the problems that we were having with the iMac on the show. So that's going to be a great thing. It's definitely going to fix the problem with the cameras. It's definitely going to make more advanced features. I'll be able to show more interactive web pages on my screen, and it should be better able to process video in real time for the show. That's one of the reasons why we still do a lot of these bcasts in my Power Mac G5, because the Intel Mac, one, has a shortage of RAM, and two, it has even bigger shortage of hard drive space. So, that's why I've been doing the videos, the bcasts on my iMacs for years, or my Power Mac G5 for years, is because it just works well. And with the new Mac Pro, we're going to be able to continue that tradition and get things done. The main things for now is I want you to feel good about yourself and the people you know, and I want you to know that I really love when I have a happy show, because like I said, I pick up on the positive energy and it makes me feel good. If I was a true psychic vampire, I wouldn't give a shit if it was positive or negative. A psychic vampire is considered a negative thing, but an empath is most of the times is going to want to seek a positive feelings because it makes us feel good. And that's another difference, is that the empath feels good or bad. I never heard of a negative energy empath, but I suppose they could exist. And of course, people that were picking up energy, we're not actually deliberately trying to feed off them. To understand what I mean by that, real quick, is that when you feed off somebody, it's an active process. For example, let's say you give a little boy, say, a nice little toy, and he's happy and he's excited, and you gave him the toy so that he would make or give you the joy and the pleasure that feeds you. Okay? That's what a psychic vampire does. Empath wants to make people happy because it makes them feel happy. And we love being around in a happy situation. But here's where it gets complicated. When you're an empathic person, as many INFJs are, and of course you have Asperger's at the same time. Asperger's sufferers, Aspies, can only take so much before it basically overwhelms us. And it's the same with my show, because on my show, we cover so many things and we talk for so long that by the end of the show, especially with long chats, my ears get numb. My brain, not physically numb, but my brain's central processing unit for the auditory signals just Just like what happens with my camera on my Mac, same thing, right? Where it's just losing interrupts and the picture's going all wonky, and so it's not getting the whole thing, and that really kind of irritates me when it does that with the computer. But it's even worse when it happens with my ears, because I know physically my ears are working at least close correctly, and that they are sending signals to the brain. It's when it gets into the brain that's when everything. So, like, if I'm listening to a very detailed conversation, you'll notice I close my eyes. And the reason I'm closing my eyes is because that is to limit or shut down unnecessary stimuli so that I can turn my all of my attention to the audio signal. And sometimes with some people, it's not enough. So if you think I'm zoning out, most of the time I'm not. I just, it's just because the way my brain works, it gets it all wrong and does stupid things. But that's just the way my brain works. So if you're on my show and you hear a caller talking on and on and on and on and on and on, and you see my eyes are closed, and I'm sitting still, or I'm squirming around just a little bit, it's because I'm trying to hear what the caller's got to say. Or for me, it sounds like a big lorry driving over a highway. A big, loud bump, bump, bang, bump, 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 bump. That's what it sounds like to my brain. So my brain is trying to hear the slight beginning of the brake shoe squeal when a lorry slows down, right? And you might not be able to hear it. It might be just subtle, but my brain is like trying to pick up that little squeal and the bump, 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 bang, bump, bump, bump. I'm talking about on a really noisy road. That is so frustrating for me when my brain does that. I have wanted to know if there was a firmware update for my brain to fix that problem, and I have no clue if there's a firmware update to fix that problem in my brain. But if there is, I'd like to know where I can download it. But for now, I want to say thank you for watching this video. I hope you understand a little more about what's going on and how this affects everybody. About when we have negative energy on my channel, how it really affects me, and why I focus so much to have positive energy flow. I gotta get ready for the live stream for tonight, so thank you for watching this. See you soon. Bye-bye.